Okay, we are live on Facebook. Had a little technology lapse there. Hang on, let's get Rebekah up here. Can you hear me? Wait. Okay, here we go. Can you hear me? There we go. Sorry about that.
You should go on Facebook and check. No, okay.
Yeah, you're on.
Go on yours. Okay, so we can share it out on Facebook?
Yeah. We're on my page. It's on my page.
On Todd's page. Go on Todd Medina. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Medina, tomato. It's all the same thing. So it's nice to meet you, Rebekah. I haven't ever seen or had a chance to talk to you. I've seen you in the background quite a bit.
Yay, nice to meet you too.
Yeah, nice to meet you. How's Florida? How's Florida? How's the weather over there?
It's not bad. What would you say? About 70, 75. It's not bad. It's a little humid because we just had some unexpected rain pass through. It's normally the dry season for Florida, so it's not bad though, considering it's probably 7 degrees somewhere else. So we're still in shorts for Christmas.
There you go.
Yay. Yeah. And where are you located at?
Right now we're in Arkansas.
Arkansas. Ooh.
Yeah, but we're going to be heading that way.
I know.
I
know. It's so exciting.
So I'm glad. I didn't realize this was you until I looked back at my notes, and I didn't realize, you were Patrick's partner. And I remembered everything. Then I went and looked at all the sites. But you made the comment like you do your own. You guys do stuff together, and you do your own thing, and he does his own.
We do stuff together. We actually met at it's a really funny story, but a spiritual retreat in Tubac, Arizona in 2014. And it was interesting because I had gone through a lot of doors closed, even the healing center I was a part of, started shifting, went through a period of about 5 months in bed. The energy downloads were so strong, I could barely contain them. And I thought, oh my God, I don't know what's next. Nothing was happening. I was without a place to live on my dad's couch.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a crazy time. Not teaching classes anymore, just trying to understand why the energy was so strong and what it was for. And I had looked, and Patrick was going to be a presenter at a retreat in Arizona, and a friend that I had never met from Canada suggested, oh my God, you should go. And it was like, well, I don't have $2,000 to drop on this right now. I'm not even taking clients. And he's like, I'll pay for you to go. I think you're supposed to be there. So I'd say I went online and I was like, well, let me just kind of tune into the angels and everything. And I went online and saw Cartron channeling. Other than it being absolutely hilarious and really knowledgeable, the angels were like, you're going to be traveling with him, get prepared. And 4 weeks later, we were on the road. So it was like, bam.
Had you ever heard of him, or had you ever seen him or heard him speak?
Not on this level or in this lifetime or in this dimension, but I can say that retreat of 55 people, we were rolling on the ground for 7 days, and a lot happened, including a group regression unexpectedly to the Civil War. So we had a lot of action happens with him. So it was pretty profound, but I had maybe seen his name around, but hadn't really looked much into it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so you had your own thing going, and it sounds like you were anchoring a whole lot of stuff. This would have been what, 2014?
Yeah, about 2014. Yeah. Well, for years I had taught cellular memory healing. I had channeled the angels, but it was always in a very, I want to say, gentle manner. A lot of it was hands-on private clients. Some of it was remote. But I'd always struggled with grounding. I was always out there on some dimension, but a new wave of energy come in. I had just returned from Australia, and everything looked different when I got home. and every door closed in my life, and an energy come in that I could hardly describe, electric currents that I felt I could barely contain, to the point where, oh my God, you're gonna die if you receive one more bit of energy. You're not gonna make it through this. The heat so bad that I would like go to other healers in town and say, can you cool this down? I can't stand it. Want to jump out of your skin thing. And I thought, okay, there's always a reason for everything. And at that point, one of the angels come in that I still work with to this day, super strong, and was like, this is for collective energy. It's for group energy. If you get in front of a group, the field is going to extend out when these angels come in this big and clear everything in their wake. So it's a positive thing. And then you can teach others to do that as they bump up in frequency. So it's there's positives to it too.
Oh yeah. Well, it's all positive. So
Yeah.
you were having this electrical current come through you. Did you know what, were you receiving information at the same time, or is that what you just explained? What?
Absolutely. To me, it almost felt like, I don't know if anyone has seen the movie Lucy, but yeah, that literally like that. And what's weird is now we have ascension symptoms groups where people can all say, hey, oh my God, this is happening to me. I couldn't find them so much at that particular time, 2012, 2013. They were out there, but I wasn't pulling them to me. It was like, I'm a weird person. This is happening to me. And even the healers were looking at me like, are you okay? Like, you got lost 3 times in your own hometown. Like, you were born here. And I said, you don't understand. The vertigo's so big. I said, I'm in another world, but yet I'm here. And I don't know how to bridge those worlds and the other worlds on top of that and kind of make it all make sense. But it was kind of like I would say a walk-in experience, relearning everything all over again. Like, oh, how do I drive a car with vertigo? Where before it's like, I mean, I was a bit of a speeder. I'm not gonna lie, I would fly sometimes, and now it become like, oh, like Patrick and I were traveling in San Luis Obispo, California one time, and it's like we're driving up this large mountain, and all of a sudden the energy field starts going like this, expanding with the mountain, but yet it's on the other side of the mountain, but this 5'2" person's driving the car. So in a sense, learning how to function when I want to say you feel like you're stoned a
Yeah.
lot, was literally, but you're not smoking anything, you're not doing ceremonies, you kind of just jump into that consciousness, and it's
Yeah.
like, this is a trip.
Stephanie Sarton,
Mhm.
she wrote a post on this a couple of days ago, and she talked about it to just everybody. She just said, hey, if you're feeling like this and you're losing your short-term memory and you're having a hard time with basic 3D, and she explained it real well, just like you did. Did you have like any type of intel prior to this time that you described, like in 2014, like angels or galactics telling you what was going on, like ascension or an awakening
uh,
or whatever?
yeah, on some level, it was all preparation for it, and I knew that uh, um, even a few of the people I met, stayed in Australia. One of it was just go with the flow and don't resist. I overstayed my visa and just learning that you're kind of in the right place at the right time, but follow the guidance. And it was interesting because before, like, say, for example, I would get like psychic impressions very strongly. Yes. Information. Yes. Saying you're going to do some really uh, big collective work, work with groups, take them into really cool shamanistic ways, higher dimensions, and let them see these worlds that you've been able to see. So yeah, galactic beings, angels, things like that. Are a huge part of it. And what's interesting is the communication. I know some light workers, they'll make it sound, super easy, but you still, like, if you're angry or if you're, in which we go through human emotions, not on their level, say, for example, like you say, Todd wants to connect with an ET that might have message for him, but you're on 92.3 FM and the ET's on 107.9 FM, then, you gotta
Yeah.
change the channel, so, but yeah, but once we get to those channels and resonate, some of the messages that'll come through, they're almost don't seem real, which actually had happened to us. I want to say about 4 days ago, a new being come in, and they're so beautiful. Some of these higher ETs, their heart frequency, their love frequency, that it's almost like you want to go back with them, because some of the shit here sucks sometimes on this earth plane right now. It's intense. So it's like, oh God, take me with you. And I've actually personally, I don't know if it's a female thing, but I get separation anxiety when when the channel starts coming back to human and you've made that contact with them and been shown like how beautiful things really are, and you see above the illusion that this is all an illusion, and where we're truly headed is so beautiful. It's like,
Do you feel these experiences are happening inside of you or outside of you?
I would say both, because when it is in a sense the kingdom within you and that vibration's going up, and it's such a strong heart opening to feel that love, to feel that high love. Some of them these beings are so high up with God, the divine realms, and it's like, oh my God, unconditional love, the unconditional aspect of it, because it's something we rarely get from other humans. We get judged. It's always, even as children, well, if you're good, maybe I'll love you this much, or if you get good grades, or if you do this right, the programming, it's just, no, I love you because you are, is their message. And when that penetrates your heart center, it's ecstatic. It's indescribable, where you're like, oh, I'm not going back to these people, I'm going with you kind of vibe. Yeah, so inside and outside, it's kind of like we're all in the field. Yeah. You're in the field together with them, really picking up on that the harmonization and the projecting of light.
Yeah. Do you think that each time you have one of these encounters and you come back, so to speak, that you're bringing that dimension or that resonance or frequency or whatever back with you, or it's with you, and therefore what's around you is going to match you? Does that resonate?
Yes. I was recently in New York, talking to someone who's an older guy who he actually created some healing systems, and I was saying, I said, being up here, just a personal thing, I'm watching the other light workers who are driving, some of them driving me around because I was out of town, and luckily manifested the need not to have a rental car, but they're zipping through like Woodstock and the mountain areas, and we're hopping over to New Jersey, and I'm like, oh, you guys, I'm spinning. And there's some of them are much more grounded than me, but yet very gifted. And that's me. Totally lost my train of thought now.
The same thing, same here. I was hoping you wouldn't ask me what we were talking about. No, I'm kidding.
The vibration's going up as you're saying, get on the caboose. But
you were talking about going through New York and New Jersey.
Okay. Can you remember what you're talking about? Bringing the experience back with you. Absolutely. And the one teacher, he's like, well, you're hanging up here with the angels, but he goes, they want to come down and bring it through your portal and expand it outwards, and which is something I've been working on. So where, say, like you, Todd, they're really raising your frequency, you're harmonizing, even though there's chaos around you, to the point where you can't feel that anymore, and you're feeling so much love. You're feeling that cosmos within and without, and you're in that higher dimension, the fifth or beyond. But there's chaos in the physical around you, and where you intentionally extend that field out to cover, say, your entire city, or even where you're traveling today, put it on auto extend, and just magically watch it touch everything in your wake. That is some of the power we have available to us that I don't know if light workers utilize all the way. Like, clear your town, clear your restaurant, and you would be amazed. You could be standing at a checkout, and people will forget, the cashier will forget what she's checking out. The people will start laughing and can't understand what's going on. But all well that they're getting an upgrade, say, that could be coming out of your feet or shining out of your face.
Or triggers.
Yeah.
Could be triggers too. But you know, I know
And
no
the
that
triggers, yeah.
that totally resonates. That is a power that we have, you know.
Yeah.
I wish, you know, okay, so I don't know, let's see, what, 6, 7, 8 years ago, I used to, you know, I'd go to sleep or I'd lay down and then I would picture my light body. I would picture like just going totally whitish gold. And then it would go to the room and then to the house and then to the building and then to this, you know, the neighborhood, then to the city. And then I'd see the states and all the whole states, the oceans and the whole world. And then it would go into the center of the earth and explode and go out in all directions, you know, the energy. And so I did that as a, I don't know, like as a blessing
Like
to
a
the,
test, yeah.
well, like a blessing to the universe,
Oh yeah, that
like
too,
my
yeah.
gratitude, you know. And then now that you bring this up, like over the last few months, I've been shown that a few times and basically shown that, hey, that actually worked. It works for anybody, you know.
Right.
The imagination is our, you know, is the mind, I guess. I don't know how to explain that, but
Absolutely. Like with every thought we create on some level, even if we're just daydreaming on some frequency, some dimension, we're creating it.
yeah.
So I was recently helping someone that, you know, had to, oh, what they had an issue. What if I fail with this or that? And I said, well, the fear can be strong. I mean, we have fear, we're human, but I said, but just what if? I said, daydream, what if another person comes in, things change up, and it becomes a beautiful experience, something you have to do that you don't want to do that seems scary or frightening, and it becomes a magical experience. Like you just clipped that scene in your movie and you edited this, and but not even how it has to, but just kind of like a daydreaming. It takes the pressure off of manifesting and things like that when you do create something like that for people that need to do something, go somewhere, manifest your trip smoothly. If you have to take a flight somewhere, I actually did this coming back from Hawaii several months ago. I thought, oh God, that turbulence is so yucky and I get nauseous, and manifested a Dreamliner plane. I just thought, what would it be like to have a nice glide back to these 48 states? This brand new plane that kind of came out of nowhere, and it was like a sci-fi movie. The gadgets in here, and it has wings that sensor turbulence. And yeah, you touch the window instead of draw that screen down, you touch it. And I thought, oh my God, what were the odds of manifesting this? Like, so the mind is powerful. I'm like, this is a trip. So we
Yeah.
can have fun with it too, but yeah, expanding and covering those cities, you know, kind of like, and then with groups like the Maharishi effect, just really calm a place down that
Yeah.
is looking for help.
Yeah. You're right. That is available to us. It really
Mhm.
is. Um, and I think maybe, you know, it'll be as we learn to come to grips with that and actually start using it, maybe we'll not be having as many visitations and experiences. Maybe this is just the catalyst to get us to a point where we can leave the nest. Maybe that's what this is about.
Yeah, it's interesting. And especially like extraterrestrial beings, about bringing the experiences back. I had one time, I had back in my hometown, there was a really good healer. He would do a session on me called PSEB, Physio Spiritual Etheric Balancing. And it was funny because he didn't touch your skin. And he would always say, he would get the energy ready and say, don't peek. Of course, that makes you want to look. So, like, I would open my eye just a little bit, just like you told me not to. I have to. And he'd be doing this swirling thing over the auric field. And then I would close my eyes. Once I tried not to, but I would lift out of my body during these sessions. We had a series of them, and these went on for a few years, into the most amazing places. Kind of never knew what was going to happen, just set an intention to really understand the universe. And I wanted to see and wanted to know the secrets and things like that. And I had encountered these one beings one time, and they will appear as a human can understand them, especially a female, like something slimy and weird looking. You know, to me, it was in my psyche how I could handle it. So these beings, they almost look cartoon like, but it was their love frequency that I really knew they were high extraterrestrial beings. they beamed so much love at me. I thought I would either die, explode, go home, or somehow learn how to just touch that moment and out of space and time. I don't want to say in time, for a moment, and kind of hear and know what exactly they were. And once I adjusted to their frequency and didn't get squirmy or uncomfortable to receive quite that much light and love, it was the most beautiful, magnificent thing. And they're basically, they said, we're not in time, but to you, we would be from the future. And they showed me these worlds, I mean, where you could put your hand through your other hand, where you can do quantum physics in that room, where you could walk through a wall. They said, you're headed back to all that. You have that knowledge. But what they showed me was a paradisical society they had. They had families like we did. But the beautiful thing was you couldn't think a negative thought, therefore create negative. They were somehow past that. And the vibration was love. If they had a 24/7 and bliss beyond description, where you didn't worry about being fed, there was nothing. You were in a constant paradise without beginning or without end. That was something a human mind couldn't fathom. And realizing, wow, that's actually what we're trying to get, that hologram in here, to have that theme and live in that sort of existence. That would be true heaven on earth.
Yeah. Yeah. This whole show's been a super deja vu for me.
Me too. I literally, you have light shining in the back of you, and I'm like, I can literally almost see through him. Like yeah, totally.
So what's it like being, you and Patrick have been hanging out now for 5 years?
It'll be 6 years in March. Yeah. So yeah,
6
we
years in
do
March.
shows together and then separate, because we come in a little differently sometimes. And then the ones together are fun too. We used to do them together all the time. And then it was like, let's switch it up and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
So what's that like going through the last 6 years with a partner in this transition, while you're getting these visitations, while you're having to let go of human aspects and all that stuff?
That, for me, to have someone around was literally what I needed at the time I was going through. What happened it was like return home from Australia, go through an unexpected 5-month transition, the most intense clearing. I mean, I cried for 5 months straight. And when the clouds get heavy, they rain. I didn't realize my energy body still had a lot of heaviness to it. So I cried. My skin broke out. Family members thought I was nuts, because I knew they could feel my frequency going up and be like, okay, something's not different about her. She's, it's not her old self. And it wasn't. And knowing if I would survive it, sometimes taking Benadryl just to sleep, because when you get the electrical current in your body that's strong, one time it kept me up for 6 days. I didn't know what to do. And to me, it felt like torture. But now after I met Patrick and went back into sessions, it was like, oh my God, I can help someone. And it was some of the most profound ways that I couldn't do before. And I can help other humans. Therefore, now their suffering can be relieved, maybe through some of these sessions. So he was a huge grounding point, pulling this energy in for someone like me. And when it gets stuck, saying, oh shit, I can't find my body kind of feeling, or I can't drive through in Mount Shasta, it's just too high for me. Like even that kind of support, being someone who channels those kind of beings, but is still somewhat grounded, very supportive, and helping to even helping with like technical things like that. Awesome.
So has it been pretty easy, the masculine feminine part of the last 6 years? I mean,
I mean, we're in the age where we can't lie, literally, like right now. So to say everything's easy, especially when you have strong energy that can help people, you can also you have your astrological and all that comes in. Scorpio, I'm very intense. It's not always easy when challenges come up, but and you have all of your other times you've been together, things come up, but you find you can bounce out of that and realize even with anyone you're working with, you're on the same team and we have a common goal, especially for light workers. So when challenges come up, you work through them. And going into gratitude is the thing, like, oh my gosh, I'm traveling by myself this week and I carry my own suitcase and it's very heavy. Where, you know what, it can take you back to things like that. I'm so grateful I had him to carry that for me that time, or to help get a paper ready for a class. I teach classes. So gratitude is key to that stuff, and just being grateful every minute you have with someone, including you. Like, I'm grateful that I have this moment with you because we're passing through time and you're a cool dude and this is awesome. So gratitude.
Well, we're going to be doing it in person pretty soon.
I know, over here in Atlantis, like, oh my gosh. So, and we actually have a grid. I have it in the background. Oh, wow. This here, which I will give one of these to you.
Yeah, I need one of those.
This is, yeah. And we just attracted this a few days ago. So this is a grid.
Hang on, let me put the camera on you. Hang on.
Okay.
Go ahead. All right.
You want to let me know if you can see this on camera?
Yeah, we can see that. You can bring it in closer too. You can bring it in closer. A little bit higher, go higher. Okay. And then now go to your left, and so we can see the US. The left. Yeah, the left. What? Right there. Let's see this. So what do those lines represent?
Okay, so these lines, let me get my, oh gosh. Okay, so these are the halls of Amenti, planetary interface, gate map, and tandem grid keys. Axiom, landline, Stargate get alignments on a 23.5 degrees something CW pole tilt. Those kind of things.
That's the longest title I ever heard.
Yes, but ironically, we just got this down in Anna Maria Island, which is right by Lido Beach. We're just there like 2 days ago, and Sierra and Sarasota and Siesta Key, where you guys are coming. But in Siesta Beach, that area, there's a huge gateway. The sand is pure quartz crystal. So even stepping onto the sand, it's like you're stepping onto a giant crystal, whereas say Hawaii or anywhere else, it's more shell sand, but they're all beautiful places. But it's an interesting clearing that you get as you're sitting on crystal. It's like sand. And we've had a lot of mystical experiences happen there. So that whole area, and there's a Native American burial ground by there, and the mound builders came down and built stuff. So yeah, all of the Atlantean stuff, which we were talking about, almost went to Hawaii last week, but extended the trip for another time. But work on Hawaii so much, we're going over to the Firestone in Bimini in a few days. And it's like, the angels were like, oh, Lemuria's the mother, but now we're going to go work with the father in Atlantis to balance that aspect of humanity. And it's like, oh, that's the one, like, everyone's like, no.
So do you guys ever have the same interdimensional experience? And if so, does that include like physical apparitions?
Oh God, yes. Actually, that would be the other night. That was out of the blue. It was right after, and a lot of this stuff will happen during these like we have now. This is like perfect gateways, like the time for this show. The 12/12 gateways say, we just had the 12/21 gateway, the solstice, and the eclipse is underway in like 2 days. These are prime times to definitely have them. Actually, yeah, happen. And a lot of times the beautiful thing is, oh, you can say, oh, I'm going to do a show and I'm going to do this. Sometimes they're unexpected and you just get into the space, into the heart space, and you get to that, oh, my heart level's going to 107.5, where a certain ET race or beings exist. And that actually happened about 3 days ago, which is interesting that you said that. And yes, one was materialized. I would say it was mainly the face I could perceive. And a lot of times I have my eyes closed. So to see in that dimension, and a lot of messages came through. And me having such a strong connection, I didn't want him to go, and I had abandonment issues when this being left, because and that's a clear sign that you're attracting high vibrational beings when you feel so much love for them and you want to be with them.
Yeah, I can relate to that,
Yeah, and in
and
humans we have that too. But yeah.
well,
So yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I can relate to that, and I look at it the same way I do humans.
right.
And
They're just not
I
less
mean,
dense, not yeah.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, and this is just me because I'm still challenged by uh, interacting with humans at these new vibrations. I'm still challenged at interacting with the dimensional and interdimensional energies. You know, I'm still learning, and the visits that we've had and that I've had have all been extremely, an expanded love, wisdom, messages, events, episodes, whatever. But at the same time, I still carry the "to thine own self be true." It's I've got to align with integrate with everything that's coming my way now. That just seems to be what's been happening more and more, not just for me, but and Morgan and I, but for a lot of people out there over the last couple of months. Have you guys had an acceleration over the last few months?
Yes, and even feeling the time acceleration itself, it can be unusually challenging, especially when you have so much to do, and all of a sudden, what felt like was a day now feels like an hour, and that's one of the challenges. It's been unusually challenging in spite of the bliss moments, and so you welcome those when they come in.
Mm.
Even the purging, emotional crying, depression, going through those times, because we become so much more empathic. So you feel, oh my gosh, all the people on the streets at Christmas, you feel that, and you cry with them sometimes, like, and think, how can we change this? There's a better way to live. This is crazy. We have enough of everything for everyone here. So those things are challenging. Interacting with humans who just want to argue. It was high energy can also make people expand, but also irritable as you have these little jolts of current in your body. They're kind of fiery. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it can do a lot of different things to you. You know,
Mhm. Make you
this
feel like you're losing your mind for a brief moment. That's when I call in. And a lot of people, oh, we want to be independent, do it ourselves. It's like, no, that's kind of why they're there. Like the other night, as the night before the 1221 was opening, I had to lay flat and just experience currents coming through that were pulling up whatever they needed to pull up, and feel that uncomfortableness. And I had to ask them, I'm like, okay, you guys, like, can you make this a little easier? Like, what can you do? Because I called off events the next day because I was in bed. I was floored. It was like the physical challenges sometimes. Like I didn't get out of bed for like a day just to integrate that, and very emotional. And then it's like, okay, I gotta do a little thing on the 24th to get me back functioning. So here we are. But I call on them constantly, can you help rearrange this, or can you take so and so out of my field? I don't know what to do with them. I can't handle them. If they're not expanding into that field, others, people will want to draw you into that field that could be lower.
I think
And
I think what you just described is something that people are coming into. It's almost like a higher vibrational self-talk. I mean, these are other aspects in some relation, some lineage, some way, however it is. We don't know yet or don't understand it. But the point is, it's like programming. When we were pre-awakened and if we were in Western religion, we prayed. And sometimes we
right,
prayed hard. You know what I mean? And sometimes they came through. There was a common thread. And then it
right.
became the higher vibrational faces or the multi-dimensional faces of the universe talking to us. And now I don't know, are we going to be just basically having a conversation with the universe, one single voice, and basically programming our reality? It's like what you said earlier about the imagination and the way it manifests right away.
Yes. And it's so interesting because you can like you can have an even an event happen or do something and it happens to the fifth dimension and it looks so different than if you were more in the third dimension where the colors magnify. um the people the people become more like lucid. It's almost like a dream state. And the universe really speaks to you so strongly in those moments. For example, I've been asking, because of the gateway open, I was like, just speak to me. I don't care what you have to say. Just give me some direction on some things, but just show me you're listening. And ironically, going over in a few days to the Atlantean Firestone, the heart of Bimini, it was like I'd see stuff like, oh, Atlantean Prodigy. I'm like, is that a restaurant? Like I looked at him, I'm like, did we just manifest this? Because I've been down this road and I never saw this. Things like that. A cosmic diner showed up the other day that I had never seen here in Florida. And beside the cosmic diner was Orbit 19 Lounge. I mean,
That's where I'm going.
yeah, isn't it the synchronicity stuff can get you? Oh, and Universal Liquor, that was the funny one. But galactic things will come into your field where maybe they were there. And Dolores Cannon, another one, also used to talk about the backdrop people, and it's like kind of looking like, wow. Like,
Now, what I've heard people reference that 2 or 3 or 4 times, and I've only listened to my 3 or 4 videos of Dolores Cannon. All respect, but what does that mean? What does she mean by the backdrop people?
I don't know if I fully absorbed it, which I'll probably have to hear something sometimes 10 times to really understand it. But as if I want to say, how did it happen for you? Were they it's almost like they're not real, but they appear real and they're in crowds, from what I understood what she meant. So say, as
So
a backdrop.
are they like movie extras?
Yes, there we go. That's how she described it.
It's like the Truman Show, like the
Yes,
Truman
oh my
Show.
God.
Yeah.
Yes, so like sometimes walking through a mall and you'll see a certain crowd and then you turn around, and I've had it happen and they're gone. And I said, is that what she meant? Is that one of the backdrop people? And things like that. It's really fascinating. Also something to think about too. It's been said we pulse in and out of our bodies, and I felt this happen one time. Yeah, with a glitch. She called them ghost people. In a sense, we're not solid, and on some level, we pulse in and out of the physical, but it happens so fast, it feels like we're still here. But I particularly have had glitches where I'm driving, and even in Clearwater, where I know my way around, and all of a sudden I feel like I was just gone for what felt like more than a second, and I pop back in and have to reorient. We have a lot of this stuff happening like right now. It's we're
And
going
somehow,
into these
somehow,
timelines.
yeah, and somehow I think we're protected in those moments.
Yes, we're
Like
protected.
you know what I mean? It's like, just in the perfect design of it all. But I can remember on Hawaii, on Kauai, several times driving, because it's not a big island, and having these loops or having these time warps, or sped up, or like rewound. Like you're driving down the road and then you rewind and you're back where you were, or
Yes.
you take a 20-minute ride and it takes 7 minutes and you're like, how the hell did I get,
Yes. Oh my gosh, those are a trip. Yes, those that happened too one time in the driving through the Everglades, and it's like, this doesn't make sense. How did this happen so quick? It's not, almost feels not real on some level.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
The other thing too is moving into our light body, you can begin to feel like a ghost after you've done all that purging. And I've had a few people say that lately, and I myself know exactly what it's like. So you'll go out, say you're out, even, I mean, Walmart, that's always an interesting place to go, or somewhere, but it's almost like you're here, but you're looking in to their world and you're still part of their world, but you're also somewhere else. The bilocation, trilocation.
yeah.
Yeah.
We had something happen the other night. I guess it was Friday. I believe it was Friday night. So we commune every night when we go to bed, just put our hands together. And well, a lot happened, but we bilocated next to each other and actually had a sacred sexual experience, but never physically moved. right? And it
Wow.
was like, yeah, it was like, yeah,
Wow.
straight up. And I had, you
Wow.
know, I could go into more detail, but there's children. It's still too early to be talking about that.
No, that, yeah, that there in itself is a whole, because that opens up a portal to the afterlife, even opening that dimension. So that's a whole, yeah, that could be a whole probably 3 shows on that, on
Mhm.
multidimensional travel through those channels, that because that's those are the creation channels. So yeah, like, and you can come back different with different subatomic structure. I mean, oh my gosh, there's, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's upgrades one way or the other. It's like every situation we have, everybody's looks different, but every
Yeah.
situation is an opportunity to integrate and merge with what we would perceive as something outside of ourselves, whether it be physical or non-physical or both. And it's like making friends with every aspect of the universe
Yes.
in a
It,
pure intention, because you can't fake it. And when you do that, code opens up and you
yes.
become more illuminated. People feed off of it, and I think we're getting into a year now where we're actually coming together, like what's going to happen in Florida.
Yes.
People all over the world coming together and learning the new earth, basically learning, because we
Learning the
still,
new earth,
so
the
many
new
of us,
ways of being.
yeah, because so many of us have had issues. I mean, I'm pretty outgoing, but I've had my
Yeah.
issues as far as wanting to be in crowds as this thing's been going on, being overly empathic, and not wanting to deal with people. And the truth is, we all need to, and
That's,
not need as, oh, something bad's going to happen, but we all want to push this thing forward and expand it. And that's the co-creation responsibility, basically, that goes with the magic. Is you got to step in there and mix it up.
yeah, it is. And we do. And we align with our soul group, and especially those souls we really resonate. Oh my God, it can be so powerful. Whereas, yeah, being in crowds that you don't resonate with can be, I don't want to say like a nightmare, but when you I remember walking through a mall in Las Vegas, and uh Patrick, you weren't in the mall, but it was so busy and just so much non-resonant energy. I lasted like 10 minutes. It was overcrowded and overstimulated, and hearing and feeling everyone's emotions and thoughts. But when you get into, if with a group of aligned light workers, oh my gosh, the creative energy can go so high, and miracles can happen even collectively. I think, we used to have a group in Florida, Delray Beach area, and we would do in a friend's house, would have small groups come over, and it was nice because they were that size of groups, but the energy would get so high. I mean, we'd have King Solomon come through, we would have just different beings, and I had to laugh. My one friend, I do third eye activations, and she's like, will you be my cosmic dealer? And I said, well, I never looked at myself as a dealer, but we can ourselves, as we go up, give those codes out, and whether it be touching someone's third eye, and elevate them into a new level of power, and then they get there on their own after that,
That's
and
right.
yeah, it's like that monkey effect.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
The hundredth monkey,
hundredth monkey, I knew it. Yeah, that was it.
the cosmic hundredth monkey.
Cosmic hundredth monkey.
So
Yeah.
you guys are on the road right now. Are you in
No,
Florida?
it's funny. This particular week was a converging of many timelines. And I think for a lot of people, I know other people that were going to do one thing and then it didn't happen. Almost ended up on the Big Island in Hawaii. And then, that was kind of that trip. It was going to be sponsored by someone. It's like, great. Who doesn't want to go there, especially when it's free in a sense, but the energies just weren't aligning for some reason for this week. So, and that's the key of listening. If the angels, the guides are saying, hey, well, don't go there this week. Not that you're never going back, but go down this path or whatever. Sometimes there's a future event or someone might be calling you that needs you somewhere else. Really learning to listen to that has been challenging, because sometimes they'll change the plans. Also almost ended up in Texas. That was one of another possible traveling places, have some friends in Austin. And one of them looks a little bit like you, by the way, but he's a little older. Yeah, he's from Austin, Texas. So
How old is
almost,
he? How old is he? Like
how old's
49?
Randy, would you say?
49?
He would be the same bit of the accent. They have a place called Phoenix Rising in Austin, Texas. Metaphysical Center. They're a cool group. If you ever pass through, they would love to have you.
I'm from Texas. I've been through there. I don't know if I've been in that. I don't know if I've been in
there's
that
a group
place.
in Austin. There's a nice network there. We actually built an altar there in their little studio. It looks Egyptian. So that trip still probably isn't happening. And then we had some remodeling to do here. So it's just kind of like that is happening. So it's basically no travel this week, but the island of Bimini will be January, right before here. It will be going over there and then coming back this way, and we will meet up with you guys somewhere over here. And yeah, it's gonna get busy, I think. January.
I think so.
Yeah.
So are you going to be, so you'll be back by mid-January, like the 15th?
Yeah, we'll be kind of back and forth. I have a weekend class, one of the weekends in January, but yeah, we'll be back here, definitely. Yeah.
Right on.
And we have a quantum field generator that has copper tape in it and all kind of cool stuff. We have a Tesla coil too. Don't know if it's running though, but yeah.
Patrick showed that to us. He showed that to us. I'm just wondering, did it run out of gas? What does it run on? Electricity or something like that, right?
It plugs in, right?
Yeah.
That big plug, yeah. I don't think it runs
So,
out of gas.
so we'll just put the call out there and set the intention. Anybody who's going to be in the Southeast United States or within a, whatever mode of transportation, we're going to be getting into some things in Florida in January, the second half of January, and maybe into February. I think we want to stay where it's warm until maybe the first part of March. So we're doing the same thing. We're following the spontaneous guidance. So I would invite anyone down there to reach out. Let's see what we can put together.
Yeah, we actually there's a nice size group. This is so funny, leading back to Texas. We were part of a spiritual retreat, and that was also in 2015, that happened in Austin, Texas. There were like 200 people there. It was a lot of people. Yeah, they had the floods that year, and a lot of those people that came to Texas were actually from Florida, which created a nice network in Florida. Some of them are on the East Coast, but they would definitely drive over here for something amazing. They love this stuff. Yeah, it's only like 3-hour drive. So, and then there are some other people we know on this coast. So yeah.
Right on. Well, we're gonna have to pursue that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll reach out.
I think it'll be powerful.
Absolutely will. We're just gonna make it up as we go and build a big tsunami.
Yes.
Just one big tsunami of energy. All right. Well, I appreciate you dropping in. I look forward to meeting you and seeing you and Patrick and hanging out and seeing what kind of event or gathering we can put together or whatever. You know what I mean?
Sounds good. I think this will be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, we'll see you. I don't know.
It's so cool. And it's so cool when stuff like this happens, even like with private sessions. I have a wonderful lady. She's maybe watching now or not. She'll watch the replay. She's in New Jersey, and we had just Skyped and talked and for quite a while. And then you meet them and it's like, oh my God, you're real. Like, we're not just on social media. Like, it's such a cool experience when the universe aligns people and you connect with them in person. It's so magical and fun. So yeah.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. You take care. Peace out.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yes. Thanks for coming on.
A very happy holiday.
And you too.
And thank you, Morgan, for hooking this up. Thank you.
Right on. Bye-bye.